So today we're taking a look at the Apple Watch Ultra 2 and the Apple Watch Series 9. And I want to start this video off by giving you a recommendation. If you are rocking a Series 7 or 8, this is not an upgrade for you. If you're rocking anything below the Series 6, this is definitely an upgrade for you. And if you're rocking a Series 6, it really comes down to your battery life. If it's really poor, then I'd make the upgrade. But if you're happy with the battery, then maybe even wait 1 year because the 6, 7, and 8 all share the exact same processor. There's no big design changes this year. Like, you look at these watches and they look identical to the previous models. In fact, the only difference comes down to the Series 9 because they are offering a brand new color. There's a pink model that you can buy now, which they didn't have before, and it's the only way to tell the difference. In fact, I like this option because with the Series 7, they offered a green, which was really hard to see because it was so dark. But the Ultra, it's impossible to tell. Like, if I place this beside the original one, there is no way to distinguish the difference between both of these models. But the big update comes down to the chip, and this chip does make a big difference in terms of speed. Right off the bat, this new S9 SIP does increase the performance. Just like little things like going through the menus seem to be a little bit more snappier compared to the previous version. But the one area that I noticed right away was voice dictation. Apple says Siri is about 25% faster this year, but to me, she seems even faster than that. Because usually I'd be out on a run and I'd ask Siri to do something, and half the time she doesn't even respond. Like, it was an awful experience. But this year, it's absolutely instant. It's like she just got injected with roids. That's how much faster she is compared to before. And the good news though is that if you have a Series 9 or Apple Watch Ultra 2, a lot of these commands can be processed locally. So if you don't have a cellular version of the Apple Watch Ultra 2 like I have here, you can still use Siri by asking it basic commands. Anything that does require the internet, you will have to be paired up to Wi-Fi. But if you're out on the road and you just want to like raise the volume or change the song or even ask the weather, because sometimes it will save that data, it will work perfectly. Now, this new S9 SIP is about 30% faster GPU. It has a new neural engine inside of it that's twice as fast as the neural engine in the S8. And look, it's using a lot more recycled parts. So obviously Apple is really trying to take this environmental thing very seriously. Even the titanium model, for example, is using 95% recycled titanium, which is a big difference compared to other watch manufacturers that are currently on the market. The one thing that I noticed right away is more so of the software features. Like, to me, the biggest upgrade about these devices is not necessarily the hardware, but is Apple Watch OS 10. It's just so much nicer, you know? We're now dealing with widgets. So if I press the little button on the side, it's gonna bring up my menu. To do this in a previous version of Apple Watch, you had to swipe from the bottom. But when you swipe from the bottom now, you get your little cards, okay? These little cards, you can obviously scroll through them if you really want to. You can customize them and you can click on them if you want more information. The Ultra gives you that action button, and obviously you don't have to pair it to a workout. If you go on your phone, you can actually bind it to something else, very similar to the iPhone 15. But the one thing that I did notice was battery life, and it's actually a little bit better than the previous generation. Not like by a lot, but I feel like I'm not putting it on the charger as often as I would with previous models. Like this Series 9, for example, I'm getting about a day and a half, sometimes almost 2 days of use before needing to charge. Whereas this Apple Watch Ultra 2, I can really extend it to 3 days without any issues. So two major features are not present on either of these Apple Watches yet. The first one is being able to ask Siri health-related questions. We can't do that yet, but the idea is you can ask it to record your weight or ask it specific things about yourself and it will respond. That should come out in a future update along with Double Tap. Now, Double Tap is obviously the most exciting feature about these new watches. First and foremost, this feature will only work with the Series 9 or Apple Watch Ultra 2 because of the new S9 SIP chip. And this is a little different than the assistive touch that we've seen on previous iPhones. The assistive touch, which you can customize to do more things, runs off the CPU. And if you're running off the CPU, you're sucking the life out of the battery faster compared to Double Tap. Double Tap with the fingers runs off the neural engine. It's a lot more efficient. It runs in the background. You're not gonna blow through your battery faster. But the whole concept of it is really cool because you could have your hands completely full, or you could even just be running. Instead of lifting up your watch to tap your screen or asking Siri to answer the call or tapping your headbuds, you can just be double tapping while you're running. You can end and start timers, you can hang up calls, you can answer calls, you can change the song. There's a lot of little things you can do with it, and it's just like a convenience feature. It's not a must-have feature, but I think a lot of people are gonna like it for the convenience. The other big update is precision finding, and that's available right now. I've been testing it out with the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. This precision finding feature will not work with any earlier iPhones because it has to have the UW2 chip, the second generation version of it. And basically, if I go onto my watch and I press the ping button, it will load up this little screen over here and it will start letting me know exactly how far away my phone is. And depending on where I'm going, it will obviously update in real time. Now this is very handy because there's been times where I'll ping the phone and I can kind of hear it, but I don't know exactly where it is. This is just so much more specific. So if you've used an AirTag, it's very similar to that concept. And look, even if you have an Apple Watch Series 9, you're not going to be able to do it with an older iPhone. So keep that in mind if you're planning to upgrade your watch and you want to use this feature, you're probably going to have to upgrade your phone too. But besides that, the rest are little incremental updates. The Apple Watch Series 9 is now 2000 nits instead of 1000. I'm really not noticing a difference in terms of overall brightness. I do find the flashlight to be a little bit brighter, but besides that, the everyday screen, when it pops up, it feels very similar to before. Same holds true with the Apple Watch Ultra 2. The previous generation was 2000 nits. This year it's 3000 nits, which is about 50% brighter, and it's the same story. I'm not noticing a massive difference in terms of brightness, but I'm sure there are certain situations that I will come across where the brightness may make a little bit of a difference overall. Honestly, I know this is a short and sweet video, but these watch upgrades are incremental, and I think it's gonna be the same story if you buy an iPhone this year. It's all the little updates that add up over the years that will obviously make a big difference with these new devices. That's why I'm saying if you have an Apple Watch Series 6 to maybe 8, I'd probably hold off. But if you're using anything earlier, this is obviously going to be a massive update for you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.